Hi children, welcome back. In module 1 what we discuss? Once give recap. Okay. In module 1 we discussed about the criminal case that Mrs. Shinde she complained on the her servant Shanti. Mrs. Shinde lost her gold chain. She expected that her servant stolen that one. That's why they complained in the police station. Then they registered the FIR. The SI arrested the Shanti and Shanti's brother also, and they found 10,000 rupees in the Shanti's truck. In her suitcase, that money also, that envelope also taken by the SI. So in this module, in detail we'll see what is FIR, what is the role of the police in arresting the criminals, and what is the role of the judge, and what is the role of here two lawyers were there, defense lawyer and a public prosecutor. So this all will see one by one in detail in module 2. Okay, let's start. So here police, first person is the police in the criminal cases. First he investigates the case, he arrests the accused. Accused means who did the wrong. Next he collect the evidences and keep the peace and prevent the crime, provide social service in the society. Now see here hierarchy of the police. So here first low grade, from low grade to constable, and above constable, head constable, assistant, sub inspector, these are there in each police station. Okay, suppose if we will take one police station, we can see the constable, head constables, and SI of the police station. Next, sub inspector of the police. Like this, the hierarchy. Then, who is the highest position in the police category? Director, DGP, Director General of Police. Okay, children. Next, when we are arresting any person, we have to follow, see some rights they have, the person have some rights, so they cannot fundamental rights of all persons, they cannot inflict any form of punishment on a person, even per petty offenses means small cases also. And article 22 in the constitution, what it saying, if any person is arrested person, the following he has the right to be informed all the time of arrest of the offense for which the person is being arrested. Suppose the police came to arrest one person, so according to article 22, he has to inform to that person why the police is arresting. He has to inform, that person has the right to know why he was be arrested. Second one, the person has the right, so when the police arrested and he keep in the police station, within 24 hours he has to submit in the court. So the right to be presented before a magistrate within 24 hours of the arrest. So police cannot continually 2 days 3 days he cannot keep in the police station. Next one, the right not to be ill-treated or tortured during the arrest or in custody. Suppose the accused person is there in the jail, in the police station. So police cannot beat him. He cannot torture or any illegal thing he cannot do, even though he is the accused person. Another fundamental right is what that accused person have. Confessions means crime made in a police custody cannot be used as a evidence against the accused person. Suppose some evidences while arresting he got some evidences, that evidences we cannot treat as witnesses in the court. And one more thing, when he is arresting a police, So the boy under 15 years and the woman cannot be called to the police station for questioning. Suppose even though they did the crime, they cannot call for the police station. These are the who are the accused person. He has the rights. So when person are arrested, some guidelines were they have to follow. See, these were mentioned in the DK Basu case. Some guidelines they mentioned the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court of India has laid some special procedures that the police and other agencies have to follow when they arrested any person, any criminal or any accused arrested by the police, detention and interrogation in the police station. So they have to follow some guidelines. So the police officials, when they are arresting a person, they have to should wear the clear, accurate and visible identification, name tags and with their designations. Already I told no, constable, head constable, SI, that is the designation. So they have to wear the proper uniform and their identification, ID card should be visible. Then only we can believe that that person is a official. And a memo of arrest should be prepared at the time of arrest and should include the time and date of arrest. Suppose police went to one person to arrest, that time he has to take one memo, means on the paper he has write all the details why he is arresting that person, where he is arresting, time, on date. Suppose today he is arresting, what is the date today and at what time, at 2 o'clock, 2 a.m or 2 p.m, everything they have to mention in that memo. And it should also be signed by the at least one witness who are there in their house. Suppose they are arresting in their house, one person should be signed, family member of the person can sign. So the arrest memo should be countersigned by the person arrested also. That accused person also has to sign on that memo. And one more guideline is the person arrested, detained, being interrogated has a right to inform a relative or friend, well-wisher. So suppose single, nobody is there near him, they are arresting. So they have to inform. Must be noticed by police within 8 to 12 hours after the arrest. Suppose when they are arresting any person, the family persons were not there, accused persons were not there in the house, they are out of the station. So he not have a, suppose he is a single person. So the police responsibility, they have to inform their well wishers. It may be friend or it may be relative, they may be relatives. Within 8 to 12 hours they have to inform to that person. It is the responsibility of the police. So here when they are arresting and they took to the police station, so here FIR, it is mandatory. What is the full form of FIR? Yes, first information report. It is a written document. So prepared by the police. In the police station, the constable will write this FIR. So it is a report of information reaches the police first in point of the time. That's why it is called the first information report. So to submit in the court, everything for this FIR is the first copy. So victim, mostly this FIR given by the victim who are sufferer in the case. They will come to the police station and they will give the FIR. Otherwise, suppose the victim is not available, on behalf of victim also anyone can come and give, their friend or relatives also they can give. Even it can give this FIR telephone also. It is not possible to come to the police station, so the victim through phone call also he can give this information. Then the constable write the FIR. So if the benefits, what are they regarding the FIR? It is the first copy, so it helpful to collect the evidences. So the without FIR we cannot proceed the investigation of the case. So in FIR, this is the application of the FIR. They have to mention the date, time, and the place where, and victim persons, accused person, witness, all the details they have to mention in the FIR. This is the application format. So this FIR, what is the checklist? What we have to see while taking the FIR? So it is recorded in the police officer in writing or verbally. So verbally accounting details of a crime, it is the duty of the officer to write it down. So when it happened, where it happened, all details of the crime they have to mention. Once police officer has written this FIR, so it must be read it back to the individual so that they can be sure that the details have been recorded exactly the way they were stated. So here victim came and he complained, he told the what happened about him. So the in the police station one constable recorded this FIR. So after recording, after writing the FIR, once they have to read what they mentioned, is the date and time, and the victim name is properly is there, or accused name or witness name, what happened, everything they have to once read and inform all the details to who gave this complaint. So after complete the FIR, who gave the complaint, that person has to get one copy free of the cost. So it is the right of anyone who files an FIR receive a copy of the FIR free of the cost. Police cannot ask any money to give this FIR copy to the person. Next one, now this police after complete the FIR and they arrested the accused person and they collected some witnesses, then they will submit within 24 hours to the court. Now in the court the lawyers and judge will decide he is accused, he is guilty or not. It is decided by the judge. So before the judgment, here two types of lawyers are there: public prosecutor and one more is the defense lawyer. Now we'll see the public prosecutor. So this public prosecutor represents the state. The role of the public prosecutor begins once the police file the charge sheet in the court. Charge sheet means all the witnesses, all the papers he will submit in the court. With this charge sheet only, the public prosecutor began the trial. So, the public prosecutor duty to present all the facts, witnesses and evidences before the court. He has to collect some witnesses, everything, and evidences what is available in this case. Everything he has to submit to the court. So, the public prosecutor has the right to speedy trial. It should be the trial should be fair trial should be speedy means within less time they have to give the judgment. They cannot drag years to years. Next, defense lawyer. So on behalf of the accused person, this defense lawyer argue the cases in the court on behalf of the accused person. Represent the accused after arrest to give advice. So he will give the advices to the accused person, what to submit, witnesses, everything. So investigate details of the offense on behalf of the accused person. So he will discuss the case with the public prosecutor and test the strength of the state's case. They will check the evidences, witnesses. So represent the accused at bail hearings. They will come to the court when the fair trial take place. So represent the accused at trial. So present an appeal. He will see all the regarding charge sheet, witnesses, collecting the information on behalf of the accused, and he will cross the questions in the. He will ask some questions who are their victim also, cross examination, that is called cross examination. Defense lawyer ask the questions uh, on behalf of accused. He will ask the questions to victim, and public prosecutor represent the victim on behalf of victim. He cross examine the questions on accused person. This is called the cross examination. It take place in front of the judge. Next, finally, we can see the judge role. So the judge is like an umpire in the court. Means how the umpire will give the in the game. We'll see no his final is the judgment in the game. Same here also, the decision given by the judge is the final judgment. So he is compared as the umpire in the court. The judge hear all the witnesses submitted by the defense lawyer and the public prosecutor. He will see the all evidences presented by the both parties, accused party and victim parties. The judge decide whether the accused person is guilty or innocent based on the evidences. Suppose before case is there fictional cases, in that Shanti is not a really, she is not accused. She did not did any crime. She saved her money, but Mrs. Shinde thought that she Shanti sell that sold that chain, and that money they got it. That money after like that they gave wrong information in the court. So here judge will decide by seeing the all the evidences. If the accused is convicted, suppose in the case accused did this crime, then the judge pronounces the sentence. Means they may, based on the crime, they will decide what sentence they have to give, death sentence or punishment. So he may be send the person to jail or impose a fine, both according to the law prescribes. Sometimes based on the crime, they decide the fine also. This happened, it is the final. Okay children, thank you.